Thank you. Honorable members, before we proceed, I would like to that the virtual mini plenary is deemed to be in the precinct of Parliament and constitutes a meeting of the National Assembly for debating purposes only. In addition to the rules of visual sittings, the rules of the National Assembly, including the rules of debate, apply. Members enjoy the same powers and privileges that apply in a sitting of the National Assembly. Members should equally note that anything said in the visual platform is deemed to have been said to the House and may be ruled upon. All members who have logged in shall be considered to be present and are requested to mute their microphones and only unmute when recognized to speak. This is because the mics are very sensitive and will pick up noise which might disturb the attention of other members. When recognized to speak, please unmute your microphone and connect your video. Members may make use of the icons on the bar at the bottom of their screens, which has an option that allows a member to put up her hand to raise points of order. The Secretariat will assist in alerting the chairperson to members requesting to speak. When using the visual system, members are urged to refrain or desist from unnecessary points of order or interjections. We shall now proceed to the order, which is debate on vote 19, social development adjustments appropriation bill. I now recognize the Honorable the Minister of Social Development.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson, and a very good morning to all members, and a very good morning to those who have a greater interest in the budget of social development listening at home. Honorable Chairperson, fellow South Africans, I table the readjusted budget vote 19 of the Department of Social Development for the financial year 2020-2021 before Parliament for your consideration and support. This budget takes cue from President Cyril Ramaphosa's address last night, in which once again he reassured the nation that his administration will spare no effort to save the lives and livelihoods. Further to that, the President himself did indicate specifically that areas of social development which his government has focused on in supporting our people. Social development provides social protection services and leads government's efforts to build partnerships through which vulnerable groups and communities become capable and active participants of their own development. In other words, we are building the South Africa that we want, but added to that, we are also shaping the South African as a citizen to inhabit that South Africa, therefore taking responsibility. The measures outlined in this budget are directed at responding not only to the pandemic, but will further enable our people to rebound to productive lives faster. These measures are about giving hope to our people and reaffirming our unflinching belief that together we shall overcome this pandemic. As we present this budget, we do so, unfortunately, mourning the loss of the last surviving Rivonia trialist, Ubabu Mlangeni, Andrew Mlangeni. In the same breath, we pay tribute to the indomitable spirit of the late Comrade Zinzi Mandela. The budget honors their selfless contribution to build a just, fair, and developmental society in the face of our challenges. We cannot fail them. The total readjusted budget for the department and its entities in the current financial year for the department is 223.192.157 billion rand. Additional allocation, an amount of 25.473882 billion has been additionally allocated to fund the top-up grants for a period of 6 months and provide funding for the special COVID-19 social relief grant of 350 for the period of May to October, which is 6 months. An amount of 15417.407 billion has been suspended from normal social assistance grants due to early payment of grant on 30th March 2020 for April 2020. This allocation has been reallocated towards the top-up grant and special COVID-19 LSRC grant of 350. An amount of 64.5 million has been suspended from ECD infrastructure grant to postpone all planned ECD infrastructure for the 2020-21 financial year and reallocate this funding towards the procurement of essential goods, PPEs, to support basic health and hygiene practices in ECDs. And I must indicate here, Chairperson, that I think everyone heard the President yesterday when he made emphasis that all the resources that are given to government must be resources that go directly to the people. The President also spoke very strongly about the abuse of resources, about corruption and all. And I want to say upfront, as we crunch these numbers, we are also crunching processes of how to make sure that these monies go to the right people. Operational funding is 56 million. 33 million has been prioritized from the goods and services to compensation of employees to fund the employment of 1,809 social workers to provide psychosocial services to affected people during this pandemic. This employment is on a 3 months term only. I must indicate, Chairperson here and honorable members, that some of the provinces are already looking at ways and means of ensuring that these social workers are employed full-time and in the long term. And I wish to thank the province of Free State, who already have stepped even further by ensuring that these social workers are employed permanently. Other provinces are still looking for ways of doing the same. 23 million rands has been reprioritized within the major programs of the department for the procurement of PPEs for all social development facilities, CNDCs, and national head office. The department had a budget reduction of 15.48 billion rand from the initial baseline budget. This means our budget was reduced from 197.72 billion rand to 182.24 billion rand. As part of the supplementary budget, we received an additional 25.5 billion rand, which was supplemented by 15.48 billion rand from the reduced baseline. This brought the total budget allocation for COVID-19 response to 40,955 billion rand. This is a significant budget increase of 8.13% when the inflation rate is at 4.6%. The increase was caused by the budget reallocation to 3 budget items, namely social assistance grants, 15 billion and 417 million rands, early childhood development ECDs conditional grant, 64 million 500,000 rands, and operational funding, 56 million rand. As we table this budget, we navigate these uncharted territories. We recall the poignant words of the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres when he delivered the 18th Nelson Mandela Annual Lecture a few days ago. He reminded us that the pandemic has helped to expose the persistence of inequalities, poverty, and racism in our society. This pandemic is further serving to reinforce this undesirable phenomenon as well as our people's adversities. The national response is that the battle we are fighting demands a constant and honest evaluation of what we are doing and how we are doing it. In other words, we need to strive to do better with less. Most of the old responses are simply not effective in meeting our people's aspirations in the faces of the challenges that accompany the pandemic. Therefore, today's normal demands that we must let go of yesteryears. Our COVID-19 measures sustain hope and human solidarity in our unprecedented fight against this pandemic. Practically, our government has invested 500 billion, in which, among other objectives, South Africans are being cushioned against the adverse impact of COVID-19. The department itself, honorable members, focuses on a number of issues which relate to food security and accessibility, ECDs, gender-based violence. Those are just the areas that I can talk about, but also to say that the issues of food security are of major importance to us. With regard to social assistance under SASSA, our social assistance programs have enabled over 11 million social grant beneficiaries to weather this unprecedented storm. Inani labantu abemukela izimali zama-grant lingaphezulu kwezigidi eziyishumi